Okay, today we're going to learn to use a new app called PicCollage. So go ahead and push your once and unlock your iPad. Put in your passcode. And we're going to use PicCollage. If you don't see PicCollage on the screen that it opens up to, you can use the trick of pulling your finger down and using the search option by typing in PicCollage. Once the app comes up, you may go ahead and select it. When you open PicCollage, you have three different options. You can choose a grid, a template, or freestyle. For this activity, we're going to use freestyle. So simply touch the box that says freestyle, and we can get started. At the bottom, you'll see a plus sign. The plus sign is your port that's going to allow you to access everything. And it's already open for us. And you can see we can do photos, web search, collected, text, stickers, and background. Today we're going to start with background. So for the purpose of this lesson, your background color is going to be the color of your table. So if you sit at the blue table, it's going to be blue. If you sit at the red table, it's red. So let's go ahead and set our background color. So you do this by pushing background and selecting your color. For this activity, I am going to select to use the yellow table because that is the table that I sit at. In the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see that there's a check mark. So you go ahead and push the check mark to accept it, and your background color is set to yellow. The next part of creating your lock screen is going to be adding your student number. So you'll see at the chart at the front of the room, I've wrote your student numbers up for you and a color next to it. So I'm going to create this for student number 1. As you can see, student number 1 is supposed to be purple. So my number has to be purple. If you're number 7, it needs to be green. If you're number 13, it needs to be blue. So I'm going to hit the plus sign, and I'm going to add a number. And in order to do that with a specific color, you have to select the text feature. So I'm going to touch text, and then I'm going to be given the keyboard. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can switch to the numbers. So I'm going to switch to number, and I know my number is 1, so I'm going to type in a 1. And then I'm going to make the keyboard go away by pushing the keyboard button down. I know that my color has to be purple, so I'm going to make sure that the A has the color purple selected, that the background, which is the paint can, is selected with the gray background with a circle and a line through it to say that I want no background color behind my number, and then I can choose a font. By choosing to choose a font, you push the T, and I'm just going to pick one I like. For this activity, I'm going to do purple boxers since it matches the number purple. And you always hit the check mark to accept. If you don't like that, you can switch it around. Go ahead and pick whatever style that you like. You know what? I decided I like this one better, so let's go with chalk duster. Push accept. Now, that number is really tiny, and I need to make it bigger because I need to be able to see the number from around the room. So in order to do that, you take 2 fingers, put it on top of the number, and pinch. And it'll make it bigger. You want this number to be pretty big on your iPad. So I'm going to set it right about there, and I'm going to move it up to the top because that's the most important thing that's on my number, or on my iPad is my number. If I hold down on the number, it will give me an option to set it as an edit or a back screen or remove it. I want this to stay put, so I'm going to select back, and it locks it to the back of my iPad. So now I have my number. The next thing that you have to add is your shape. So if you look at the poster, all of you have been assigned a shape. I can see here that student number 1 has been assigned a star. So to find a star, I'm going to hit the plus sign again, and I'm going to use web search for a star. So you hit web search, and then you're going to type in the word star. You need to make sure you have images selected and not the GIFs, so go ahead and type in star or whatever your shape is that you're looking for. Then you're going to be given a bunch of different options for stars. It's your choice on whatever star you want to use, and I want to do something that is going to stand out that I can remember. Since my background's yellow, I probably don't want to choose a yellow one, and my number's already purple, so maybe I pick this fancy red one. At the top, you'll notice once I've selected my shape, it gives you a number of how many shapes are selected and a check mark. Remember, you always accept by pushing the check mark. So go ahead and accept your shape, and it will put it into your document or your page. You can move it around with your fingers, pinch it, make it bigger, wherever, and you have to set it on your screen somewhere. I think I want my star to go right here. Again, I'm going to tap it, hold it down, and then I can choose to set it in the background so that it doesn't go away. So there it is. Got it set. The next thing you need to add is an arrow. So you're going to go back to your plus sign, you're going to web search again, and you're going to type in the word arrow. And everybody has to add an arrow. Again, with the images here, I don't care what color image you use, what color arrow it is, pick one that you like, and you're going to see every time you get on your iPad. So you can scroll through and be creative. I'm going to select this one because I think it's awesome. I'm going to push the check mark in the top corner, and then I can move my arrow. Now, this is where it gets fun because I want my arrow to point down. And since I didn't select an arrow that points down, I have to position it to point it down. And I want it to go all the way down to the bottom of my screen. The next thing you're going to add is your name. So again, you're going to push the plus sign, you're going to go to text, and you're going to add your name. So student number 1 is Aisha. So I'm going to type in Aisha's name, even though she's going to get to do her own. And I'm going to make the keyboard go away once I have the name typed in, and I'm going to change it. I can pick any font that I want for the name. So let's see, maybe I like this one. And I can pick any color I want. I really like the color pink, so I'm going to pick pink. And I want to give it a background color so it stands out a little bit. So maybe some blue. And then remember, you always put the check mark when you like it, and it'll save it. And then you can put your name somewhere on your iPad. So I want my name to go in this corner. The next thing you have to do is you have to add our class code of conduct or our central agreements for our iPad, which we have written together already. So you need to pull out your journal and use your journal to help you type in your essential agreements or your class iPad code of conduct. So you're going to go to the plus sign again, and you're going to use your text. Now for this one, I'm going to require that you do it in black so that everybody has the same color and the same text. So I'm going to start by changing that first. I'm going to push the A, black. My background, I don't want anybody to have a background, so remember, if you don't want a background, you press the gray circle with the circle and the line through it, and then the text. And I would like you all to use a text that matches the script that we use in class. So you can use Avant or Helvetica. I'm going to go ahead and select this one. And then I'm going to go ahead and begin typing in my code of conduct. So looking in my notebook, it starts with, I will hold the iPad with 2 hands. And then the next one. Remember, when you want to go to the next line, you just push return. I will only use the apps that are approved for class, period. The next one, return, and so forth. You're going to go through and type in all your essential agreements. And then once you're done, clearly I still have some more to go, but I'm going to, for the sake of time, have them be done for now. You push the keyboard that goes down so that it goes away, and make sure you hit save. As I look at this, I'm seeing that it's kind of light, and it may be kind of hard to see some of the words on the iPad screen if the light is on. So maybe I decided I want to change the font on it. And I can use the Helvetica because my teacher said I could use both. So to do that, you just double tap like I just did, and then hit Helvetica. And if you see, it comes up nice and dark and black. So let's go ahead and have everybody use that one for this lesson. And then you may position it anywhere in front of your number because it stands out, okay? So then the next thing you have to add is your press and agree, because once you have your essential agreements or our class code of conduct typed in, you have to agree to follow that every time you use your iPad. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the word press and agree. In order to do that, again, you push the plus sign, you add a text, and you're going to type in press and agree. So PRESS and agree. And it's kind of typing over my words that I already have there, but that's okay because I know where they are. For this one, again, you can choose any font you'd like. So I'm going to choose this one because it's different than something I've already used, and I can choose any color I want. My arrow was kind of blue, so I'll do a blue color, and I'm going to set a background for it so that it stands out, and I'm going to make the background white. Remember, hit the check mark, and I'm going to put that above my arrow. I'm going to move my arrow all the way down so that it points to the home button at the bottom of my iPad, and then I'm going to put the press and agree above it. Okay? So now I have everything that is required to have on my iPad. I still have some space, so I will give you the option to add a sticker of your choice if you'd like to add a sticker, or something from your photos if you wanted to add a picture of yourself. Your choice, you can choose. So I'm going to go ahead and add a sticker, so you just hit stickers, and you'll see you get a variety of different stickers. Please pick something that is appropriate for class. And these are all grease. If you swipe through at the bottom, you can change to have them be PicCollage stickers. And you know what? I really like hearts, so I'm going to select the hearts here. Maybe I want to do another one, and I can scroll through the bottom. And we're going back to school, and I like to read, so I'm going to select, oh, some of them aren't free. You'll have to only do free ones. Sorry, guys. It'll tell you at the bottom how much they are. So I'm going to just go back to the PicCollage ones because I know they're free. And I'll do the stars because those are kind of fun. And I unselected the mustache because I didn't want that, and I accidentally hit it. So in the top right-hand corner, you push the check mark again, and now I have my two shapes, or my stickers. I'm going to put them on my iPad. Oh, I really like how those stars turned out. And put them where I want them, and we're done. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to save your lock screen. In order to save your lock screen, you need to find the screen or the blue circle in the bottom right-hand corner. It has a square with an arrow coming out of it, and you're going to tap that button. Once you do that, it's going to say saved to library in the middle. So you're going to hit save to library, and once you see a green check mark next to it that it's been saved to library, you're set to go. Your next task is going to be to hit the check mark in the right corner, and you will see that it brings you back because it's now been saved to your library. That is how you use PicCollage to create a lock screen. I'm going to show you how to set your lock screen now. So you're going to go back to your home button, and I'm going to go to my settings. And I did that kind of quickly. So just in case you got there and you don't know where settings is, remember you pull down, you type in settings, and you go to settings. Then I'm going to go to wallpaper. So if you look at the left-hand side, you're going to find the one that says wallpaper. And I'm going to select choose new wallpaper. And I'm going to go to camera roll. Look, there's Miss Sue. And I'm going to select the picture that I want for my camera roll. And at the bottom, you can choose to set lock screen, set home screen, or set both. Let's go ahead and set both so that if we leave our iPad somewhere, we know whose it is without having to hit the lock screen and close it. And yeah, so you can see at the top it says move and scale or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it'll just do it on its own if I hit select both. So I'm going to hit set both, and it says setting both. If I go out, you will see that it's there. I'm going to go ahead and lock the iPad. And now looking at it, I can tell that it does need to be reset. It's a little big. So in order to not have that problem, depending on your update on your iPad, you need to unlock your iPad, go back into settings, go back to your picture, and smooth and scale to fit. So you're going to want to make it fit in your screen. So I'm going to move it up a little bit. Play with it, get it to where you want it, and then you can hit set both. And I think there it's going to work now. Yeah. So now that I've done that, I can lock it again, and it's set. So now my arrow is pointing directly to my home screen. I can read my code of conduct, my home button, then I can enter my password, unlock my iPad, and begin exploring with the different apps that we're using. Have fun creating.